so many places that Black Dragons, when they're on the defense, can really... We saw the Kavira play. We saw them wanting to play on Fenix's misdroning. Bank is the perfect map to go to if you want to use that as a win condition.
So we're going to have the bans coming in then. It's going to be Hibana to kick things off. No surprises here on Bank. And that will be followed up by Thatcher. We'll move on to our defender bans now. It's going to be Fenix to take the first one out. Now, for me, thinking back to that Oregon result, Fresh, Fenix just felt a little bit off the pace. We've said they've had a couple of changes on the roster. Obviously, Luxor has played with them before, but Toski's coming in pretty new to it all. It feels to me like it is having an impact. They don't feel as sharp as I would expect for this Mexican team. We know they've got a lot of ability, but it just wasn't happening for them. And Black Dragons, given that they've had more time together as a roster, they're familiar with playing with each other, they do just, for me, feel a little bit of a cut above at the minute. It's all about that synergy that's ongoing. Once you've changed out not just one, but two people, you can't just slot two people straight into a system. They need to learn the system. They need to spend time inside that system. And there is going to be these desyncs that we're seeing. And it's just small things, but it's small things that ultimately turn into, through a butterfly effect, turn into round losses, which can turn into game losses. So Fenix, they were always on the back foot. They've just got to try and make things as easy as possible. And I say that, look at the operators that they initially showed there. Jackal and Dokkaebi. They have switched off the Dokkaebi, but the Jackal's a nice statement of intent. If we're struggling to drone and where we can't find people with drones, let's use the Jackal because he can see the footsteps. As soon as they're scanned, there's a live ping on the player, so you don't need a drone in that case. So I'm liking this instant thought process from Toski to go straight onto the Jackal. Black Dragons then, they're going to be heading up to the top floor, so the roam might be slightly more limited here. We'd normally expect to see if you're on basement or mid floor, then you're going to have the top floor hold, you're going to have to clear all the way down. It can have a little bit less impact here. I'm not saying it'll be completely sort of mitigated, but Black Dragons maybe just a little bit gentler on how far away from sight they stretch on this one, and it might just play into Fenix's hands a little bit. But what I hope it doesn't do for them, Fresh, is just take their eye off that ball, because if they come away from this round thinking, maybe we're not going to have too heavy a roam game, maybe we don't bring the Jackal again, I think that could be a problem for them. And I'm sure that Fenix will know that. Coming into those later rounds, they really need to be switched on, especially when you get down to basement, for example. When Black Dragons are defending down here, you just know they're going to be spread out all over the place. We saw it quite a few times yesterday when we did Bank. I know that was a Carve and Malvinas, but the way that the LATAM teams in general, they love to roam on that basement. You need to stick that Jackal. One thing that I've observed and that I absolutely love about this Latin American playstyle, Ace, is the speed of the entry. We're seeing Jackal straight into sight there. Not into sight, sorry, into the map there, trying to take map control from underneath and sniff out any potential roamers. And the pacing on the attack is ultra important, especially on a map like Bank. Exactly that. Bank's a very big map. You've got to get around it. You've got to clear out any nooks and crannies that you want to check. You've got to do it quickly, like you say. You've got to move in and give yourself time for that execute, because otherwise you can find yourself in the last 20, 30 seconds trying to scramble. But for the time being, at least, Black Dragons, as I suggested, Fresh, they're playing pretty much on the top floor here. Patoxi's got himself back up there, so the roam isn't going to be too heavy this time around. Toski has managed to start working himself up the main stairs. He's going to move in underneath. He's actually going to come back through the basement, up blue stairs, and look to support his team in and around Square Skylight. He's got Morphed in there as well. So it looks like it's going to be very much a push from that side of the map. And that's exactly what you need, is that when you start doing split pushes on Bank, it can create opportunities where the defenders can just double up and bully you out of positions. Breach will come in. It looks like it's going to be 4 players in square, and then Luxor kind of poking his way through the lobby side to try and shoot people in the back. Fabi's got a really nice drone, and they've got the breach off. They've got now a minute to work with to force players out of Janitor, force players out of Executive Office, and look for a plant potentially behind the bomb chassis. It's looking pretty good for Fenix so far. Stage 1 and 2 has been completed in good time. There's maybe a little bit of Stage 2 utility clearance still to happen here, but they can start looking towards that final execution. Morphed, as you say, nice nade onto Basetto there. Patoxi's taken a ton of damage on the Mozzie as well. So Black Dragon's just looking a little bit beaten up here on the top floor, and definitely opportunities to be found for Fenix as Luxor manages to lock Ion down, and that leaves us now 3 versus 5. There's a potential for Pabi to get in in and try to put this diffuser down, but that could be an important kill. It's going to be live with the FMJ, manages to find a kill onto Pixie and then turns around and puts a Toxic Babe canister out as well. He also finds another big plays from live to level things up at 3-3 here. 15 seconds left to go, and I'm just a little bit concerned that Fenix have burnt too much time. They do manage to get the smoke down, but Perez is in an important position here. If he sees the man go in, there you go, that's the information. He didn't get the kill, but he did get the location. Patoxy finds the bullets. Perez with the
Twitch coming in, it was Luxor, gets a kill on the Echo, shooting him in the back. That's the Echo off the board, and it just relies on live, just peeking up, getting 2 kills, and really Patoxy after that. And then at that point, Ace, it comes down to gunfights, it comes down to positioning, and it's just having, for Fenix, it's about having the guns up and making sure that you're trading those kills out. That's something they didn't do. They allowed 2 double kills to come in quickly there.
I mean, I know we spoke about the potential of a split push there. I'm just interested to ask the question, Fresh, and get your opinion. Do you think maybe one person on the lobby side might have helped, maybe on the old rappel there, just to try and put some pressure onto that balcony where Perez was able to just sit for the entire round?
I think what was missing there for Fenix was the Luxor played his part perfectly. He went into lobby, he got the kill on the lobby stairs onto the Echo. However, there was a real absence of the window rappel. And that window rappel means the site is so hard to maneuver around for a defender when there's somebody, because there's 4 windows and there's so many angles that can be held. If you think about a window, obviously it's got 4 sides, and I'm stating the obvious there. But if you think about that, that's 4 windows and 4 corners of the windows where a player can put his head to peek you. It's so hard as a defender to peek those windows. If Fenix had somebody playing there, they could have cut sight completely and they probably win that round. It's really small margins, but it's those small margins that are losing them rounds at this point.
Black Dragons there, just concerned about the potential of a garage push coming out here in round 2, where Fenix are going to be attacking onto basement. It's going to be lockers and CCTV for them. You see the drones going in at this stage. Nothing too rushed or urgent coming in from Fenix. 30 seconds into the round, and Luxor is going to follow that one in and take out the default cam and then stop and reassess, see exactly what is going on. But as we can see, there's a lot of attention being paid to the top 2 floors, quite rightly so from Fenix here. We've spoken about their own game of Black Dragons. Doesn't look like they're playing too aggressively here on Bank Fresh, not maybe as much as we would have expected, given what came out of them on Oregon. They're playing things a little bit more passively, a little bit more cautiously, and they need to be careful that they don't give Fenix too much time here.
That's the problem, is Fenix, they're happy to keep the pace up, and you see the drones, they've got the mid floor already. A minute 30, you would expect that the Buck, who's got 2 hard breach gadgets on, will start breaching the hatches towards the site and will start setting up. Here it goes. He'll start setting up for a locker's side plant there, as he will breach the A site hatch first and then the B site. Fenix got 2 charges, presumably will be used on the server room and then the server wall. It's all about the time taken to clear the server stairs player and the player playing the server rack. There's an Aruni gate, there's a shield, there's presumably ADS is helping out, and this is what the time sink and the utility sink is coming out.
I mean, it's another sort of older time hold, really.
Warden,
we don't see
shotgun.
the blue stairs too much with the Warden shotgun, but it can be very difficult to clear out. We have 1 flash comes in taken by the Aruni gate, the 2nd taken by the ADS, the 3rd taken by a WAMAG, but with the... No, it's not a WAMAG magnet, sorry. It was actually successful, but the Warden classes, they're just going to ward it off anyway and allow him to keep playing in that position. The shield is cleared out, but we're down to 55 seconds Fresh. They still haven't moved the Warden. They still haven't got in and breached down onto that plant spot. Bassetto's going to take a bit of damage, but he's just going to carry on holding here. He doesn't care. He is there to die. The nades are coming in, taken out. He gets 1. Can he get another? That is a big opener for Bassetto. And right now, Fenix have absolutely no answer to the problem that is blue stairs. And it's allowing Patoxy to play on the hatch as well. Perez, he manages to find Luxor. 30 seconds left to go. And this is falling apart for Fenix. They just don't have any way in here.
No, they're going to have to drop hatches and push stairways, because there's absolutely no way they're taking server control. Patoxy knows there's somebody on the hatch. He will peek him. He doesn't get the kill, but Bassetto finds another one with the submachine gun there, and it's all up to Toski running through garage. He's sprinting through garage, and Ion will kill him out. Really good hold there for coming out of BD, and I particularly love that ace. When you're not going to do the roam, you need to invest significantly in server control to delay the time aspect of that round.
And Fenix just had absolutely no answer. I said it during the round there. They just didn't know what to do. There was utility raining in. There were my magnets. There was ADSs. There was an Aruni gate, a deployable shield. There was at least 5 or 6 throwables that were absorbed by Bassetto on the blue stairs there, and it all came to nothing for Fenix. They've got to be following that in. They've got to be getting that kill, and it just wasn't possible to make that challenge. And, you know, what an interesting way of doing it, using the Warden there. Historically, we would have seen the Ella in that position with her shotgun, but not this time, and I think it was a great answer, because where those flashbangs maybe do sneak through, you've got the answer in Warden's gadget. Flick the glasses on, it clears the flash, and you're back straight into the action. So well played from Black Dragons. What a hold that was. And they're moving on to round 3. It's going to be staff and open area.
Bassetto's I just want to commend him, because we talk about Ion, we talk about Live, we've talked about Perez quite a lot, but Bassetto, given the roles that he plays, because he plays a lot of flexible roles on attack, and he plays, usually it's the hard breach, a lot of hard breach on attack and flexible roles on defense. He's in that position to die, right? But he plays it so well to waste the time, to waste the utility. He even popped up and got 2 kills. And it's people like that that do the quote-unquote difficult work, the dirty work of your team, that really can win or lose you the rounds. He's not always going to be making them massive plays in every round, but he will be industrious and just get through those jobs and those tasks.
So we're going to have the mid-floor, and this could be dangerous for Fenix here. If Black Dragons are able to lock down staff in open area, it gives them a complete rotation of defensive sites, and all they are going to do is rinse and repeat, because Fenix haven't really felt too close in either of these first 2 rounds. They had a moment at 5 versus 3 in round 1, but they just weren't able to capitalize on it. And if anything, that's just going to build the confidence of the Black Dragons. Now then, Morphed, he's going to be looking to move in on the Iana. The drone is going in ahead of him. There are at least 2 roamers up on the top floor here. Pabby manages to find Patoxy. That is a great start, but it is not one of the roamers that's been taken down. Perez will take damage. Black Dragons, they need to be finding a kill here, because very quickly this round could start getting away from them.
They need to hold on to the vertical, especially given the 5v4 and there's only 2 minutes gone. It relies on them at least finding a kill and wasting another minute if that's going to be their win condition. You see the quad walls open, so as soon as vertical control is established, square control can start being established and a flank can start coming out in kitchen. It relies on Perez here as Morphed. He's found another one. I'm not sure exactly where that kill was from Morphed onto Live, but it's a 5v3, eventually traded out for no, not traded out. Toski's managed to find himself another kill. 5v2, a great round coming out here from Fenix so far.
Morph took a lot of damage in the process there, but it's just not going to matter at this point. 5 versus 2, and Fenix is certainly in the driving seat. And what we've seen here, where they got 5 versus 3 in the first round, they seem to sort of take their foot off the gas a little bit. They just dipped off. They had the man killed on the rappel and it started to fall apart. This time, they've just kept powering through. They've continued to find kills, take control, open hatches, and continue with the plan at hand. They just feel a little bit more confident in this attack to me. Now, Ion, he's going to be holding his angle underneath, but this is not going to be easy for Black Dragons from here. They're just going to have to try and hole up and force some sort of plant to come out. But with 55 seconds left to go, I would expect Fenix to be able to work around this, soften them up, and get those final kills.
There's going to be too many guns looking at them. You were expecting the hatch drop to come in. There's a player playing the hallway as Ion. He does manage to find a kill onto Toski. He's lit for his troubles. He is at 20 HP. He really needs to be shooting people that aren't shooting him back here if he's going to win any engagements, especially with the SMG-11. The breach is going to come out on the quad wall just as Pixie moves in using the sound cue, gets the kill onto Bassetto. It's all on Ion. There's 1 player in the hallway, 1 player in the office, 2 players going for the plant in the kitchen, too many guns looking up at him. Morph will eventually find the kill, and that's the round for Fenix.
That would have taken a miracle for Ion at that point, I think. And it was painful watching. I think it was the Maestro. It was just painful watching because you were waiting for that wall bang. You knew as soon as the drone came in, there was a man on the other side of the soft wall, and you thought as soon as that drone came in, there's a yellow ping and there's a kill going to follow in about 1.5 seconds. And that's exactly what happened. And it was well played by Fenix. They didn't panic. They didn't, get ahead of themselves when they had the man advantage. This is the one you were just sat waiting for it. What an absolute nightmare. And then just too difficult a position for Ion to try and hold on to, even with only 20 seconds left to go. So that's going to be Fenix taking their first attacking round. I think they'll be looking for at least 2 realistically. I don't think, they'll be too worried if they go in 2-4 at the half, get themselves on the defense. They'll be confident that they can maybe give a little bit of Black Dragons a taste of their own medicine, so to speak. But Black Dragons, they're going to rotate back up to that top floor site. It's going to be CEO, which was their first choice. They won it back in round 1, and they're going to be looking to do the same here in round 4.
I think just talking about the staff and open area, that last site we saw, obviously it's the tertiary site, and Black Dragons, they're potentially a little bit behind the curve on the way that site tends to play out. What you tend to now do is just reinforce. You don't tend to... Interestingly, in old iterations of Bank, you used to try and extend across to Teller's office side. What teams have started doing now, especially I'm talking inside of Europe, my experience with them, is they tend to reinforce those walls over to the north side, play above and play in Tellers, but don't actually try to rotate back, make the defenders kind of breach, as we saw the soft wall really was their undoing in that 2v5. They're going back to that primary site that they had in CEO exec. However, they were 3v5. They did have to clutch up last time, so they might need to make some small adaptations here, particularly the echo of Ion not getting too aggressive because he got shot in the back in the previous round.
This is the sort of stuff that I love because inevitably, as you say, Black Dragons are going to look to maybe make a few tweaks, but at the same time, so are Fenix here because they obviously struggled to close it out last time. Perez was able to just stay rooted to that balcony and just make it really difficult for the man to come in with the diffuser and get the plant down. So I'm sure that Fenix are going to look at that and think, right, how do we prevent that this time? So it's so many moving parts and just sort of rotating around each other. Black Dragons adapt, but Fenix shift what they do at the same point.
Yeah.
It's just always so fascinating to watch it play out now. Pabby's going to be on the window rappel for the time being, supported by Pixie. He went in like this last time, pretty much straight underneath the default cam to try and get that wall open. Did a great job of that. It was done early in the round, and it looks like that will probably be the case again this time, but not quite as quickly, I don't think, as the drones are continuing to feed information back in. And right now, Black Dragons, they haven't been forced to move anywhere at the minute.
No, they've wasted the time. Fenix just making sure that they can actually safely rappel in. We're seeing them drone every inch of what they can. Pabby probably goes in very shortly as well, as we see the Ayana also in the kind of electrical box, just waiting to go in bottom square. They're making sure there's no absolutely no angles that they can be peeked from. We'll expect to see the breach come in, and it feels like deja vu. Stage 1, it's been done. It's a little bit slow, but it has been done. Pabby, he will find another kill on Toxie, who's looking to get a little bit aggressive on the janitor hallway there.
I think he did the same last time. He threw a nitro around the corner and didn't land it. So this time tries to get a bit more aggressive and take the peak. But as you say, they were well aware and ready for it. But Live does it again. Same thing last time. Took the man off the rappel. And if you remember, that was the change. That was the moment that swung the round, really. But Pixie, he gets straight back on those windows and manages to find one through the breach onto Live this time. That could be the opener that Fenix needs. 45 seconds left to go. And they need to start pushing now. They left it a little bit too late last time, and they didn't have any options other than to try and just push in brute force. Basetto finds Pabby, and the exact same thing is starting to happen again. Perez is rooted in position. This time they've got the Echo fresh. That could be big if the Yokai drones are still in play to prevent a plant going down. Luxor takes some damage as he goes in with the diffuser, and it's all or nothing for Fenix now. They've got to go in, and they've got to start getting this suitcase on the ground. Basetto's in a great position, but shut down by Luxor. That could be a really important kill, but I'm still asking the question about the Echo. How pivotal is it going to be? Luxor getting that diffuser down. I don't think he's got any drones left and can't make an impact on it, so that is going to be a successful plant.
This is almost the hardest retake to do, other than maybe Consulate Garage, which obviously isn't in the pool anymore, because the players, they're going to play that window rappel, and it's almost impossible to retake against a window without going out of said window. Perez, he's gone down into lobby. He won't find anything. The Fenix players, they're going to be way too ready for that, and it's all about Ion trying to look for the kill, and then one of the players needs to go out and challenge the window. They need to find the kill onto the top square player first. They're peeking absolutely everything. They have no idea where he is. As a red ping does come out, right, it's go time. Somebody needs to go on the rappel, somebody needs to go out the window. Out the window, gets the kill, but I don't think it's too late for the defuse. A great round coming out of Fenix. A great but slow retake coming out of Black Dragons. Fenix take the round.
It was a hell of an effort. You've got to give them that. It was, they found the kills that they needed to. They just took too long finding the twitch of Luxor, who has had a great round there. Not only has he got a big kill onto Basetto inside a janitor, he's got the diffuser down, and then he's also wasted sufficient time in that post plant to prevent the jump out being effective when it did come. So well played from Luxor on the Twitch. Going to give Fenix another round, put them 2-2, level things up, and all of a sudden Black Dragons maybe feeling a little bit under pressure here, a little bit against the ropes. They came out so strong in the first couple of rounds, but as we've seen throughout the last couple of days for Black Dragons, they come out strong and then they just allow themselves to be reeled back in.
They do. They win a few, they lose a few, and they look generally when they win them, they look in full control, and when they lose them, they don't look in any control. It's really stark contrast. And I think if you're Black Dragons, that would kind of, if I was a coaching staff on Black Dragons, for example, that would worry me, and I'd want to try and hit that middle ground consistently in most rounds where you've got enough control and you can win or lose it. Because again, once Fenix knew what they wanted, they got the plant down, and as I will say, it was up to Luxor. He repelled in, he got the kills. But also, what he did in the very first round set that play up. Because in the first round, he came in ATMs, he came in lobby and got the kill onto the Echo. The Echo was distracted and constantly paranoid looking at lobby throughout a lot of that round, which kind of means there's not a gunner looking at the breach. He's not sat on his Echo cams. He was distracted. Eventually, that probably came to cost BD in the end.
Round number 5 then, as we head towards the end of the first half. Black Dragons are going to be taking the lockers and CCTV defense once again down in the basement. They've got the Warden. Basetto last time proved absolutely pivotal. Fenix had no answers whatsoever. So the interesting question here is if Black Dragons rinse and repeat and try to take that blue stairs hold to prevent the push into server, will Fenix this time be able to adapt? Will they have the answers? Because they should know exactly what is coming, because last time it was so effective. We've got the Aruni, we've got the Jaeger, we've got the Wamai, we've got everything that they need to try and hold on to those blue stairs. But how the Fenix shut it out? They've only got 2 nades and 2 flashes. They've got, 2 nades, 2 flashes, 3 flashes and 2 smokes. The smokes they may want for the plant. So they could be limited on those throwables again by having the 4 hard breach options.
The 4 hard breach options is actually intriguing, because what they might look to do, and what a nice adaptation may be, is to ignore the server altogether. Look how much utility is once again invested. Remember, there's now 4 hatches on bank. Yep. With the 4 hard breach, you can open up every single one, which means you take defensive attention away towards the lobby. And I think that's potentially what they might be doing. Looking for the elevator hatch, looking for the lobby hatches, potentially late round, to then try and drop them and just create a different point of attack.
Exactly that. The lobby hatch has been opened. That now leaves us with just 1 intact into server. They may well choose to open that or not. It gives Patoxe an angle to attack up from, but what it does is cut Basetto off. He's then going to feel like he can't rotate out of blue stairs. So he's looking to hold on to that position for the time being. But as you say, there is the option now for that vault drop potentially, but it looks for the time being fresh like the utility is going to start raining in one after another. But the Warden once again just using those glasses to be able to clear that flash and be able to challenge onto those stairs. For the time being, he's going to remain in position, but here comes the rotation.
There's no peak coming out on the Warden. There's the utility dump and they get rid of the shield. That's all well and good. If there's a double peak coming in behind that, the worst you get is the 1-for-1. However, the rotations come. It's lobby side. It's going to be Toski going for Garage. Presumably that bulletproof is going to be up on the ambulance. You do see it there on the front of the ambulance, and a player also playing there ready for it. So the attack's got to come out. Garage is huge here. If the attack win Garage, then the attack can come out for lobby side, drop in the hatches and look into plant in the B bomb site.
Basetto must be screaming at this point though to say, look, I've not been pushed on server stairs. It has to be a rotation. Once that utility gets cleared out, sit down, Pabby. It's as simple as that. If you're going to walk into a shotgun, you're going to get a face full of it, and that's exactly what happens. Ion fans Luxor, it's falling apart here. Fenix still don't have the answer fresh. The kills come in, the clock ticks down, and that's going to be the round for Black Dragons. And as you said, they just weren't quick enough, I don't think, in any way, shape or form. So like you say, all the utility piles into blue, you need to be quick and peek on the back of it to try and get the kill. They're not choosing to do that, fine. So your rotation has got to be much quicker than it was, because as I say, Basetto at that point saying they cleared this utility 30 seconds ago and I've not been pushed yet. They're going somewhere else. And then guess what? We're ready for it. We've got a man in Garage. We're ready for the hatch drops. And that is exactly as it played out.
One thing that I will say, and I'll draw experience particularly from the way European teams play this, and particularly the way books on European teams play this, we've seen them very often where they will just walk in booking with the shotgun, because then you're playing shotgun against shotgun at very close range. And there's a lot of little tricks that European teams do that will clear out the service stairs, throwing a nade in, but peeking before the nade goes off. Those type of tricks. But at the very worst, and I said it in the round, at the very worst, peek it with 2 people, because it's unlikely that shotgun blast is going to kill 2 people. It might kill the first guy, sure, but you can get a 1-for-1 trade, and you can do the attack that you actually want to do as the attackers there from Fenix. Unfortunately, they won't, unless we get to overtime, Ace, they won't get another chance to attack this. So it's maybe one for thinking for next time, or, you know, going into their kind of regional league in 2022.
Exactly that. Now then, heading into round 6, it's going to be the final defense for Black Dragons, and interestingly, Fresh, they do have the top floor available because they lost it last time around, and it was their primary choice, but they've chosen not to go to CEO. Instead, they've gone down to the tertiary site, which is staff and open area. Now then, last time they defended this was round 3. Fenix were able to get the win, so not necessarily any worse an outcome than they had last round in the top floor, but they've decided to mix things up, and we'll see if they can get this one locked down. Now, last time around, the top floor roam wasn't really too impactful. If you remember, kills came in elsewhere and effectively cut the roamers off and made their life a lot more difficult. So we'll see this time whether Black Dragons can have a better impact. And I think the answer is no, they can't, as Toski manages to find the opener onto live.
And I think I criticised the way they played it last time in terms of trying to play above and across. I think you really need to put that investment either straight above or straight into tellers and not try to do both. Perez, again, he's kind of locking himself in janitors. He might have a rotate around the back, but Toski's already there holding a rotate back out. So Perez is presumably the next player to die here, as bullets will just miss him by a fraction. And he does swing out. He's going to swing top square. It looks like they're aware of him. He does get the kill onto Morphed, and he's going to rotate through. Toski's probably his next port of call, as he's just seen him. However, Toski's just been downed by a C4 below. So this is really good adaptation coming out of the defense, making sure they're getting these kills upstairs and making sure top floor control is really hard to take for the attack.
Fantastic play from Perez on the top floor, getting himself one, and as you say, just making himself a very difficult moving target at the minute. Can he get a second? No, Pabby's going to shut him down. That leaves us now 4 versus 3. Fenix in control of the top floor as well, but Black Dragons essentially very critically looking better for the site hold this time than they did last time around. They've got the Malusia Patoxy still in position, and they can try and make things a little bit more difficult. They should be able to absorb that pressure on site a little bit longer than they did last time, but they do have longer to hold on. 1 minute 10 left to go, and Fenix, they've got the top floor control. They're opening the hatches, and they're going to start working on these final defenders.
Longer to hold on, and 5 soft walls with a buck and a sledge on the board, by the way, which means as soon as Fenix read into that, it's the same as the last time, so they should know what they're coming up against. They are able to completely cut sight because they've got tellers and bottom square control. They'll know the Maestro's most likely playing close breach, as he did in the previous round. He's probably the next target that they want to go for, and then from there, it's just about squeezing sight out again.
Basetto just holding that angle. I think he knows that there's a man going to be pushing from that direction. The drone comes out, not as deadly for him this time. He just misses the man as he moves across the door frame. He's trying to challenge 2 angles at the same time here. Luxor manages to find Patoxy. 20 seconds left to go. Can the Black Dragons hold on? Ion somehow gets 1, gets 2. Great double from him. And then Black Dragons find themselves level. 2v2, no 2v1 as Ion gets a triple. It comes down to this. 1v1. Basetto, 8 seconds left to survive. Luxor does have diffuser in hand, but there's a lot of live ping information. Seto, he's just playing this cool. He waits for his moment and he finds his man. That's going to be Black Dragons somehow gripping hold of that 4-2 advantage in the first half.
And they've got Ion to thank for all of it, because he was just killing everybody. It didn't matter which weapon. He pulls out the SMG-11, he kills some more, and Fenix once again, it's just that ability to go in and just play a trade on somebody. They couldn't do it onto blue stairs, onto Basetto. They couldn't do it there, pushing through the small office into open area, onto Ion. And it really is their undoing on the attack. That's another round lost that they should have won. They should be 4-2 up here, not 4-2 down.
Certainly should be, and that's going to start mounting up on the sort of mental side of the game for Fenix, because they know that those rounds were there for the winning, especially that one. You've got Ion pinned in a corner, and somehow it just shows the experience and the ability of the player. You know, Ion's been around Siege for the longest time. We know how good he can be on the gun skill, and he's just proved it there for us. 4-2, Black Dragons move on to the attack. This is Fenix's opportunity, really, I think, to just steady the ship, and just try and lock things down. I'm interested straight away, Fresh. You know what I'm going to say. Marcio knows what I'm going to say as well. The Tachanka pick. Is it a good idea? They've got the smoke as well. We've got 2 operators effectively fulfilling the same role there. Is it a little bit of overkill?
It's a change of idea and approach, because I'm presuming that we're not going to see a roam coming out of this lineup. So what I'm going to presume that we're going to see is less of a slight roam, because we've got to rotate. So there's going to be a kind of false roam. Shoot some drones, come back down. You want to waste time. That's your key win condition when you're a defender. You're going to kind of falsely fight for server. It's called like a false roam, a false extension. You're going to put a small amount of utility in, but eventually give it up. Pixie has to stay alive. Sorry, not Pixie. Habby has to stay alive on the Jaeger. Pixie has to stay alive on the 1-eye, get themselves back to site. What they're wanting to do here is what we would call test the execute. They want Black Dragons to start to try planting and then walk into the Tachanka and walk into the Smoker's Pabby. He finds an opening kill onto Patoxy. That's a really good start. Now, if he can get himself back down the main stairs, that's all he needs to do right now. And that's a key win condition for his team.
I feel like Patoxy's just giving himself up a little bit there. There were shots that rained in, I think, onto a drone that was next to him on one of the shelves, and so it was a clear indication that there was somebody already aiming in that direction. I think he hoped to catch him out as he maybe tried to move out of sight, but nope. The Jaeger was more than ready for it, and Pabby gets himself a great opener for his team. So Black Dragons already on the back foot inside of round 7, and they have got work to do here. But in the absence of that heavy roam, as we've said, there is the potential here for them to be able to still just push direct to site and get a job done. Now, interestingly, we've got Luxor on the blue stairs. We saw the position held by Warden previously. They're going to be taking a slightly different approach to this. He's going to be using the toxic vape canisters to try and hold them at bay here. And once that utility comes in, he deploys the toxic vape canister. So effectively, he's wasting that utility. As they try and rein it in, he stops them being able to push along with it.
And that's the thing. You see this Tachanka there. He's ready for the lineup. The Smoke is playing there to die. We talked about fulfilling the same roles. Not quite, because the Smoke's trying to waste time. The Tachanka's trying to plant them now. There's still an Aruni Gate. I saw 1-eye Magnets. I see Jaeger ADSs. However, the play of Perez here, he needs to walk into server, get himself a kill. He does just that. It means Luxor's now on his own, especially if that hatch is open. Luxor might be kind of getting a bit active on his feet. Live drops in, ignores the utility, kills him with that buck shotgun. 3v3 on shoes, and now we're in the phase where we're going to start testing the execute out, Ace.
There we go. We're going to have the wall getting open. 50 seconds left to go, so Black Dragons have got plenty of time to work with. And interestingly, if you look above, you've got Ion on the hatch, which is potentially going to be a key factor here as well. One to watch out for. What a shot comes in there. Nearly takes the head off Pabby, and Bassetto's getting the diffuser down. He's going to be successful here, Frash. There's literally no attempt from the Tachanka until the very last second there. We see the flames erupt, but it was just too little too late. And now Ion on that hatch is going to prove an absolute nuisance. He knows he's likely to be pushed from main stairs, so he turns his attention there as Live manages to get himself a kill, and this is going to be very difficult for Fenix now. 27 seconds left to go. That's the Tachanka out, and that is the round finished as Bassetto finds the final kill onto Toski, and Black Dragons, they really are finding their feet here.
I have absolutely no idea what Morph was doing there on the Tachanka, and I don't like to call out specific players. However, the Tachanka exists specifically for plant denial. So much ammo in that Shoemaker launcher to deny area, to deny plant. And it came out 5 seconds into the planting animation. That needed to be coming out 5 seconds before the planting animation and just constantly spamming it. The second that plant goes down, that's your win condition gone. The Tachanka needs to be so much more active with that gadget that he has. Otherwise, why are you bringing the Tachanka at all?
As you said, you know, they're testing the execute, except the problem was they just let him put it down. Yeah. They just, you know, they just came in and they just were not prepared. I think the thing is, there was a challenge. There was a little bit of aggression on the door. If we fair, there was a little bit of aggression on the door as Bassetto started planting.
Though.
It wasn't, but it was through interlockers, which is basically through the red hole, interlockers. So I think in the sort of region that Tachanka was trying to play, there was, you know, maybe he dips away from that fight a little bit. But as you say, effectively, you might as well lose your life on the fight, because if you're not going to deny the plant, you're going to lose the round. So one way or another, you might as well stick your head above the parapet and see what sticks, because, you know, as we see, the outcome is the same either way. But it's easy for us to see. We sit here and we have a nice top-down view and all the silhouettes, and you know it's very easy for us to call it. But as it stands, Black Dragons, a good round from them. They lost the opening kill. They were man disadvantage, and they worked very, very well into server. Perez, as you say, essential kill really at the beginning of the round.
It's exactly what opened it up, because he walks in Dirt Tunnel, he gets the kill on the server player. Now that server player, he's holding hatch drop. The hatch drop can't occur. As soon as the server player is dead, the hatch drop occurred, which was the book on live, gets the kill without having to mess around clearing the utility and double peeking a shotgun on the stairs. It really was nice play. And Perez, he did only get a 1-for-1, but like I say, he opened the round up. Moving through, we're seeing CO and we're seeing window play early coming out of BD. 2 players indeed on the window.
The 2 internal windows were castle barricaded, and I think that's probably been a little bit of a driving factor for those players getting on the rappel so quickly. I think it's making them feel safe because they're not going to be peeked from inside. So they're happy to get themselves out there and start to try and work those external angles. We'll see how much joy they have from them, because obviously it works both ways. So the castle barricade does limit their ability to have an impact into sight as well. But for now, the drones are in there. They're feeding information back out, and they're going to continue trying to work those angles. They've got some great work done here. They've got the Canto wall open from distance, so that allows the elevators to be cleared out. But more somehow, the diffuser's going down here fresh. Perez has walked in from behind. He's got himself 2. This is unbelievable. Basetto manages to get a plant. Fenix have just completely lost control of sight.
And that's the thing. There's only Pixie that's playing anywhere close to sight, and he, you know, Morph will get killed from Lion through those Canto holes, as you mentioned. Pixie tries a refrag, but immediately Bassett knows where he is, gets the kill, and it's all over to Toski, and Basetto will get the kill. And what I will say about that round is, once you've jammed out sight and you know it's clear, the comm will have come in. Boys, sight's clear. Let's just go in. The instantly hole repelled in. The smoke's going down. The plant's going down. They're in a 4v5, by the way. And those Canto walls, we see why so many teams fight for them, because Live just had the complete cut across the whole of lobby, the whole of main stairs, and he cut the whole site in half there.
I mean, the thing is, we know that Black Dragon's going to do this as well. So Fenix, they must have been watching yesterday. They must have reviewed the VODs. Black Dragons, when given the opportunity, I'm thinking back to the coastline that we cast them on. As soon as the opportunity was there, bang, they were in, and the diffuser was going down. So if you're going to leave, like you say, sight so light as they did, don't expect anything different. And unfortunately, Fenix seemed to think that there was going to be another way out of that. But Black Dragons, they've got themselves onto not just map point, but match point as well now. It is a best of 3, of course, so this is going to put them potentially, if they can win this round or any of the next 4 rounds, it is going to catapult them into a final showdown against MIBR here in the LATAM Close qualifiers. And of course, the winner of that final will stick around in Sweden for the 6th Invitational 2022. So a huge prize on the line, and I think it's going to take a gargantuan effort from Fenix right now to stop Black Dragons making it.
It will do, and I will say it's an absolute shame if it is. Obviously, I'll be happy for Black Dragons and MIBR, and whoever goes should Black Dragons win this round in the map. However, it is a shame for the Mexican teams. It is a shame for the Argentinian teams, because they've come here and they have put up, for the most part, they've put up a great fight throughout groups yesterday, and even today they've just fallen at that final hurdle potentially. Especially, you know, Fenix, they're staring down. They can't lose a round now.
No, that's it. All the mistakes are done for Fenix. The chances are burnt. It is now or never. You win every single remaining round from here on in this map, or that's it. You're done. You're going home. You know, and even then, the thing is, it becomes a big mental mountain to climb now, because even if you do win all of those rounds, you've still got another map to go to. You've still got to beat Black Dragons somewhere else. So now it is looking like a big task ahead of them. It is a massive reverse sweep that is needed, and it's going to have to start here and now. We're almost a minute into the first round. Perez is getting himself inside of the site, moving down, and that is not a good start. Fresh Ion, he gets a kill onto Toski to open things up. That is the mute gone, and that is the pressure just mounting here.
That's that false roam, and they got a kill. Fenix got a kill from that false roam in the previous round. They didn't get a kill in this round. They start in 4v5. We saw how well BD managed to clear out server last time. They've now got an extra person to go at it with. Perez is he's confident. He's already trying to work his way down the main stairway here, potentially looking for any defenders, because the defenders, they might want to try and get a little bit aggressive to try and claw that advantage back. Perez is more than ready for it, because they can basically only come from one staircase.
And as we've seen, it's possible to execute onto this site with 4 players. So Perez can essentially just hold that angle now and just prevent anybody moving up those main stairs and making that flank attempt that they might go for. As you say, Ion's going to be working those hatches just as he was last time. He's very safe to do so because he's now got Patoxy, who's taken over on the flank watch, allowing Perez to push down into server with Basetto. But they are moving around so fluidly and so well here at Black Dragons. They just seem so confident, fresh. They're going to get that wall open, and here comes the plant attempt very, very soon, I've no doubt.
Yeah, it's that game of cat and mouse, but this time there's no Tachanka. It was a bit irrelevant in the last round. There is a smoke. Basetto starts trying to bait it out. As a red ping does come into the guy in the hallway, the defender in the hallway, they're going to use a nade for the sound coverage and to try and get a kill. C4 comes out from Morph, goes down, gets the kill on Basetto. 4v4, somebody needs to instantly retake it. That will be Perez as Patoxy. He finds one on Tabby. The execute's coming down. It is 4v2, 4v1, and it's all up to Pixie. He swings the breach, he swings the rotate, and he gets killed. Black Dragons, they're going to the grand final. They've still got their shot at 6 Invitational 2022.
Big plays from Black Dragons at the end there, showing complete dominance down in lockers and CCTV, able to just move in and put the diffuser down almost at will. There was a half attempt from Morph, managed to